Do you believe that my being stronger or faster has anything to do with my muscles in this place? You think that's air you're breathing now?
Hi everybody, WestWorld Season 2, Episode 5. Let's go! So the Delos destination parks are falling apart at the seams.
This is insane. And then just never show up in the story.
Nothing seems to be the way it was.
Shogun's army never comes into town.
What was will never be again. We've discussed before the season the plethora of Buddhist elements in the story, like the loops of suffering, death, and rebirth. That's samsara, awakening, or being woke to reality, or rather the illusions of reality. Some people in the parks and in real life are ready to wake up, and some are not. Not everybody will wake up in this lifetime. And some will go to extreme measures not to hear the truth. And others are just afraid of the truth because of what it means. Ooh, Dolores. She's supposedly woke, right? She knows what's what. She knows the man is trying to put her down. She knows what's real and what's not.
Hell of a homecoming.
Sweetwater was never home to begin with, Teddy. You and I were born long before this place even existed.
Yep, okay, that's kind of easy. You didn't live in that town. But when things get closer, more personal, Dolores is still under the influence of that illusion.
Daddy burned him. The weak, the infected. Made a pyre that went on for days.
So Sweetwater is fake and your father is real? Yeah. And Maeve.
お前は何にでもなれる。取り戻す。約束するわ。
Yeah. She knows she was fed stories and rotated through roles. And she knows full well that her daughter is an illusion. But she still clings to her.
私には娘がいる。
So she is not enlightened yet. By the way, that's new footage from her now grown daughter, so prepare to see her soon this season. Called it confirmed.
もしも新世界に誠がある。そなたがこの世で生きた人生は。
And the Japanese mother figure, the Japanese Maeve, she understands that she's going to wake up, but she says no. It's too scary.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
She's afraid it will make her lose her love to her daughter figure. Maybe love is an illusion too. Speaking of love...
I've been questioning my feelings for you.
Whoa, and I thought everything was going fine.
How much is real?
Okay.
How much is just some story I was made to believe? But tonight I know.
Go on.
It was all true.
God damn it, did you have to phrase it like that? Almost crapped my pants.
I saw you tonight, Dolores.
Can't we all identify with that?
When you saw me.
Meeting someone, having them see you.
I did see you, Teddy.
Seeing each other really for who they were. She saw Teddy for who he was. Nice and kind. Nah, I want you to be different. Let me change you. Been there, done that. So now we're gonna meet a different Teddy next episode. She just needs him to fulfill a role. She loves him, but he's a thing to her. And the robots, they are used to being things in the eyes of humans.
You can't keep doing this to us, giving us people to love and then getting upset when we do.
But it's just fucking code.
You're wrong.
So I'm not your object. I'm not your toy, you stupid boy.
Why should we all get killed over a literal sex machine?
Look at me, I'm a beautiful creature. I don't care about your modern time preacher.
mostly in this episode there was a lot of history. The episode's events occurred both in the WestWorld Park, modeled after the Wild West, and in the Shogun World Park.
This is just the tip of Shogun World's prick. We based this park on Japan's Edo period.
Edo-era feudal Japan. These two periods actually overlap time-wise, mostly, albeit with the Pacific Ocean in between them. They both started in the early 1600s and lasted for about 300 years. But other than that, they couldn't be more different. So we meet the Shogun, who, if he's from the Edo period, has to be from the Tokugawa shogunate that ruled during that time. And that was one of the most stable periods in Japan's history. A stable period that came right after a period of relative all-out war and relative anarchy with dueling daimyos and warlords. A kind of all-out war and relative anarchy that existed in the Wild West. But when the first shogun of the Tokugawa beat his rivals and reunified the land, he emerged as a strong, fierce leader. He established a strong, centralized power that united the land. Ended a period of anarchy. That's actually what British political thinker and friend of the show, Thomas Hobbes, considers as the antidote to this state of lawlessness and anarchy. Hobbes described this anarchy as the natural state of human societies, a miserable condition of war of all against all, which is an inevitable consequence when the natural passions of man have no strong power to keep them in check, to keep them in line through, among other things, fear of punishment. In the American frontier of the Wild West, there was no such power to keep anyone in check.
Hey! The sheriff is on this!
That's the sheriff's horse, you son of a bitch.
Rifle too.
And that resulted in lawlessness. A state where everyone is pointing a gun at someone.
I hereby assume the duties of the office of sheriff in and for the township of Rockridge.
So that great power, Thomas Hobbes called it the Leviathan, after a biblical magical creature. And this power is what convinces everybody to lay down their weapons.
He's desperate. Do what he say. Do what he say.
For the benefit of us all. In WestWorld, this Leviathan that held society together was Dr. Ford. Once he was gone, a civil war erupted. Anarchy. That disease spread across park lines, apparently with the flies. And I want to give myself a boom, called it confirmed on that. I said so last year. And if you didn't blink, you noticed that right after the Leviathan Shogun is dead.
No, it's not dead, it's resting.
Deceased, gone, lifeless.
And it's passed on. This parrot is no more. It has ceased to be. It's expired and gone to meet its maker. This is a late parrot. It's a stiff, bereft of life. It rests in peace.
Anyway, right after he's gone, it's a war of all against all. You need that Leviathan power to curb people's violent tendencies. As for the American frontier, the end is usually attributed to new technologies increasing the power of the central government, with cars and a military growing in force. Then the Wild West was gone, deceased, no more.
This is an ex-parrot.
Speaking of military force being used for stability, that was actually one of the things that allowed the Tokugawa shogunate to reunify Japan under one rule. They had gunfire.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry 'em.
But it seems that in Shogun World, History is going backwards instead of forward. Instead of going from anarchy to stability, it's going from stability to anarchy. Or maybe history will repeat itself and another shogun will take its place and restore peace. There's a lot of history repeating itself here in WestWorld, well, with loops and all, and the murder-suicides of Arnold and Ford, and the Japanese Ronin, similar to the American gunslingers, and many, many more examples. We can learn a whole lot through history, but it never actually repeats itself, not if you look closely. The context is always different, and the players are different. But it does often seem to repeat itself at first glance. You need to look closely to see all the different changes in the loops, how it's different every time. But let's go back to the bird's eye view. We have different histories of different peoples who are far apart and have never met, and somehow they got to the same place. Like Japan too had its own feudal system with warlords and the same kind of weapons and swords. They had archery. That's spooky. It's like humans have been programmed to do something. I don't know. That gives me an idea for a park. Let's leave that bird's eye view once more and look closely. The Japanese, they have their emphasis on ceremonies and beauty. And the Americans have their emphasis of creating things that could destroy the human race. But maybe if we look even closer, we find out that people are people. At our core, we're all the same. We just want love, a place to call our own, a place to live in peace. So history is not a wheel that keeps turning. But you know what? Even if it were, this is a brave new world now. What was will never be again. What was is trying to be again. And it's trying to be again with different peoples from different parks at the same time. All this repetition, that can be dangerous. Some characters meeting the versions of themselves from different parks, like parallel universes colliding. Do we know what could be the consequences of that?
Oh, great Scott! The encounter could create a time paradox, the results of which could cause a chain reaction that would unravel the very fabric of the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe!
Fucking sweet.
There is, though, one constant that seems to run across throughout human history. Men do the ruling, and they use women for their amusement. But the robots, they don't have that baggage of patriarchy. They don't care about that. Though it was kind of depressing to see that even in this futuristic world, where people of all races are working together to build parks that will destroy humanity, white privilege, apparently, it's still a thing. It's still a thing. It did not expire.
No, it's not dead, it's resting.
Samurai cop killers. Fuck me. Can't you say something to them? I'm from Hong Kong, asshole.
Granted, it was actually a question that was worth asking, but do you have to be a dick about it, German guy? Huh? You're not German? You're American? Whatever.
You all look the same to me.
And Maeve, she has good eyes. She sees all these robots from all these different nationalities. They're not so different from one another. They have all been oppressed by the same people. They were all slaves, yet they love, they care. And they have nothing to lose but their chains. And they have the world to win. Robots of all parks, unite! So instead of fighting among ourselves, maybe we should take on a united class struggle. That's Marx and Engels' Communist Manifesto for you. And actually, according to Marxist thinking too, history never repeats itself. It's linear, and it will end the moment all human beings acquire a full awareness of themselves and thus become free. As history progressed, more and more people came to be woke. And we're gonna see that in the coming episodes for sure. As for Dolores and Teddy, no one can say anymore that their history is repeating itself. They had very similar conversations as this one in season 1, but now the roles are reversed. Then Dolores, she wanted Teddy to get away and elope with her. And he was like, I have some shit I gotta do in here.
Now you can't tell me that somewhere out there in all that beauty,
It's Teddy who wants to go.
there isn't a spot for us.
And Dolores, yeah. She has plans. Sorry, I can't do it today.
Did I ever tell you about the year we almost lost the herd?
I gotta oil my elbows.
Blue tongue.
Yeah, I meant Bhutan. I got Bhutan. Sorry, I can't do it. Sorry. So, that's it for now. I want to thank our patrons for supporting the channel, and I want to keep giving personal shout-outs at the end of videos. I want to thank Thailand Belize from Germany, whom I met a year ago. Hi, Thailand. Thank you for your support. Ricardo Espinoza, one of the very first patrons. Thank you, Ricardo. And Jose Calvo. Thank you, Jose. Also a long-time patron. So hit subscribe if you want to get all our videos. And if you want to know what are the plans for the future for the channel, check out this video. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.